Hey guys, as promised, this week we're talking about the different areas outside of Reno to kind of clarify all of the Northern Nevadans jargon that we use. Alright, let's just jump into it. So first of all, one that you're going to hear all the time if you're new to the area, or if you live in the area, you do hear it all the time, is Sparks. So Sparks is its very own city, but it's northeast of Reno. It has its own downtown and it's northeast of Reno. It's full of neighborhoods and great shopping. A lot of you know Scheels, the largest all-sports store in America, is located right there in Sparks. So is Wild Island, the Sparks Marina, and multiple parks and ball fields and what have you. But the really cool thing about Sparks is it has a small town feel to it. It's full of all kinds of living. You have horse property with lots of acreage. You also have track homes that are beautiful, large, and stucco. You have custom over $1 million homes located on the golf courses. And then in Sparks, you also have condos, apartments, townhouses. Like I said, it's its own city. We could break it down itself. Maybe I'll do that as a video, breaking down all the different parts of Sparks. Next we have the Johnnesquaga Nugget, and then we have the Nugget Event Center, which is a super new, literally built in 2019 concert hall. So it has some huge names already performed there, and obviously COVID shut it down, but I have a feeling that there's gonna be some great ones coming back. Alright, so just past Sparks to the north is a little community called Spanish Springs. Now, Spanish Springs is one of the most desirable places to live in all of Northern Nevada. It's full of single-family homes and has great access to a large shopping center, the Sparks Galleria, which is full of big box stores. It's also really close to the Sparks Legends, which is where Scheels is. Now, it's full of single-family homes, and a lot of them have larger lots. So that's great for acreage, or if you just want a little bit more space. Out in Spanish Springs, the pace of life is a little bit slower and the streets are really safe. It's a great place to raise a family. It is outrageous how many people want to be in this area. Now let's go even further north to Palomino Valley, which is one of the most expensive places to live in all of Nevada, which made me scratch my head at first because I was like, literally millionaires, famous people live in Vegas. How can Palomino Valley be one of the most expensive places to live in Nevada? Well, it turns out it's super valuable to have giant pieces of land out there. So they're on the super large acreages, great for horses, great for stretching your eyes. You're really gonna have to look hard in Palomino Valley to find a home that doesn't have a super large lot. So if this is something you're interested in while still being connected to the Spanish Springs and the Sparks community, not too far from the Reno community, I think Palomino Valley would be a good fit for you. Now, we're not going to touch on the real estate side of Pyramid Lake, but just north of Palomino Valley is Pyramid Lake. That means that Wingfield Springs, Spanish Springs, and Sparks are all just a hop, skip, and a jump to Pyramid Lake, which is a world-famous fishing lake. They catch cutthroat trout out there that, on average, are like 40 pounds. Every month there is a giant catch with some lucky fisherman out there that gets to boast, and he never tells us his secrets. I would like to catch one of those one day, but if you're really into fishing, fly fishing, or reel and rod, I think being close to Pyramid Lake is a good option for you. It's close enough to go out for the morning and then just come back in the afternoon, or vice versa. All right now, so moving a bit further south, closer to Reno, but we're gonna head east now, further east to a little community, which it's its own town, called Fernley. Fernley is east of Reno. You just have to take I-80 right out there, and the beautiful thing about Fernley is it's really close to USA Parkway. USA Parkway is the industrial zone for Northern Nevada, so there's tons of options for work there. Huge corporations have landed out there, Tesla, Google, Switch. So if you're planning on working in that area, Fernley might be a good spot for you to live. Now, Fernley might seem like it's far away, but it's only 30 minutes from downtown Reno, which is so nice. Just jump on I-80 right there and head into town. The beautiful thing about Fernley too is it's nestled along the Truckee River and right in a valley, so you have beautiful views. And the best part about Fernley is if living in Reno is a bit too expensive for you, I think probably the biggest draw about Fernley is it's a lot less expensive than living in Reno. Home prices in Reno right now are surging, at least at the making of this video. And sometimes it's hard, especially for first-time home buyers like myself and my husband. It's hard to compete, especially with cash offers coming from over the hill of California. So if you want to stay in the area, and you know what, most places is a 30-minute commute to downtown Reno anyways, Fernley is a great option for you. Now past Fernley is what we call Fallon, Nevada. It's 63 miles from downtown Reno. It's its very own city, and the best way I can describe it is its rural living. If you're drawn to living in a small town where farming and ranching are very prevalent, I think that Fallon will be a really good option for you. Plus, you're still pretty close to Reno. Now, we went pretty far east there with Fallon. We're gonna bring it back in, but this little town, this little community is still east of downtown Reno. Downtown Reno is our center point. Next up, we have Virginia City, which is an old mining town that has literally been frozen in time. It is a hoot. It has a great downtown with a historical stretch. You literally feel like you are in the gold rush when you go back there. Even so much so that the locals will dress up in the attire from that era, and they will walk up and down the wooden sidewalks with you. It is so much fun. Now, if you're looking for a place to live that has a ton of culture and is so much fun, I think Virginia City would be a really good option for you. There's a ton of single-family homes in the area, and they have great views. They don't get to see the Sierra Mountains, kind of like some of the other communities. Instead, they have great views facing the east, and there are hundreds of mountain ranges out there for the eye to catch. Now, only being 35 minutes from downtown Reno and still being able to live in such a fun, cultural environment, if you like history, this might be the place for you. Now, there are two ways into Virginia City. There's one way up and there's another way down. Obviously, you can go vice versa, but if you take the other way down, it spits you out into a little place called Dayton, Nevada, which is a great community that is southeast of Reno. It's really close to Virginia City and Carson City, the state's capital, which we're gonna get to next. But Dayton is a great place if, again, home prices are a bit too much for you in the Reno area. Dayton will be a perfect place to settle. Dayton has great access to USA Parkway and Sparks because there's a new back road that they just created. Now, if you're planning on working in USA Parkway, or you just want to frequent the Sparks area more with the shopping and all that, this would be a great place to live. You wouldn't feel like you're missing out at all. Now, there are a few kinds of homes available in Dayton. There's great houses with larger acreage, or you can live right on the golf course in these beautiful large stucco homes that are really nice. And they're nestled up right on the mountains, giving you a spectacular view, and they come with awesome walking trails. So that's Dayton for you. Now, let's move further west. Directly south of Reno, we have Carson City. Carson City is a state capital in Nevada. It's its very own city too, and it's in a different county. It's only 30 minutes from downtown Reno, and it's 30 minutes from Lake Tahoe. There's a separate highway other than Mount Rose, which we talked about in a previous. If you're looking for a place to live that has a small town feel, a great tight-knit community, and an awesome downtown district, I think Carson City would be awesome for you. They have all sorts of housing, apartments, condos, tract housing, along with beautiful luxury homes. All right, now I don't know which direction to go. We can either talk about north of Carson City or south of Carson City. I think maybe we'll go north. Okay, north of Carson City is what we call Washoe Valley. Now, Washoe Valley is centered around beautiful Washoe Lake, and there's Little Washoe Lake. Washoe Lake is a public lake, so you can go there anytime. It's a very short commute for most people, and the water's always pretty warm because it's rather shallow. The thing you have to be careful for at Washoe Lake is the wind picks up every afternoon, so just be cautious of that. Now, Washoe Valley is split into two parts by Highway 395, by the highway that goes from Reno to Carson. Now on the east side of the highway, we have more of the desert, and the homes are great, larger lots, single family residences, ranch style as well. But on the west side of the highway, we have amazing luxury homes. Now, a lot of people refer to this as the Franktown Road area. It is nestled up beneath the trees right above where Lake Tahoe sits. I mean, if the mountains cracked open, the valley would be flooded with the Tahoe water. Tahoe is just right on the top of that, so it's beautiful views. There's a lot of ranching that goes on, so the eyes can see over the beautiful pastures, and most of the homes are tucked up in the trees. These are mostly custom luxury homes, and I tell you what, if you're ever out there, get off the main highway and just cruise on Franktown Road because it is absolutely beautiful there. So if you're looking to be close to Reno, you're gonna be about 20 minutes or so from Reno. And if you're looking for luxury living where you either wanna keep your cattle or you wanna live in absolutely gorgeous mansions nestled up against the trees with a short drive to Tahoe, I think that area would be awesome for you. Okay, so we covered the north. Let's pass back through Carson City and go to the south, and let's talk about Douglas, which is what the locals call it, but the locals call it Douglas because it's in Douglas County, but the actual name is Minden or Gardnerville. They're all the same, basically. We can break them down in a separate video, but just for the premise of this video, it's the same. All right, so out here we have the best views in all of Reno, I tell you what. So the mountains are so drastic and the Sierra Nevadas are so beautiful, they just really show off. I tell you what, the views here to the west are gorgeous. It's only 49 miles from Reno, and there are large multi-acreage lots, but there's also suburb living as well. If you really like the slow-paced lifestyle and you love a charming, locally owned downtown, you have to check out Minden, Gardnerville, Douglas. We will know what you're talking about if you say any three of those things. It is such a tight-knit community, and it is so close to Tahoe. Plus, with those views, it is just an amazing place to visit, and I bet you it would be even more amazing to live. There are so many options around the Reno area. We just have to find which one's right for you. So remember, I'm Allie Blueberg, and I'm your ally in the real estate business. You call me if you have any questions or if you're looking to move, buy or sell. I'm your girl. All right, you guys have a good day. I'll see you next week.